All right. All right. All right. Hey, y'all. Welcome in to Keep It Cute with Miss Mel podcast. I hope everyone is having a great evening. Let me see. I think okay. I think I'm a little on time today, or I might be a little late. But if so, I apologize. I did have to reschedule. I had this live schedule for yesterday. Um, I got kind of busy yesterday, and I'm really kind of busy today. But I wanted to make sure that I get this live stream out the way tonight, so we can move on to the next story. To all whoever's viewing, hello, good evening. I hope you all are having a blessed day. I'm in the middle of doing laundry, so I just got done putting the clothes inside of the dryer. So I'm like, let me go ahead and get started with this live. As y'all know, we got to get in where we fit in. Hey, sis. Hey, Miss Sexy. How you been doing, love? How you been doing? What's up, cutie number one in the chat? So it is some. I see that Amelia and Lolo had came in. I think that was from yesterday when I pre scheduled the live. Hey, brother Terry, it's good to see you. It's always a pleasure, brother. It's good to see the Cuddy up in the building, the first Cuddy in the building. Yep, y'all. So as y'all see, we gonna talk about love spells. Today is gonna be story time. I have a couple of videos with people telling their stories about love spells being put on them. I'm not sure if anybody that's in the chat or anybody that's viewing had those experiences before with love spells. I have not had that type of experience before. So it was really interesting to me and it was definitely different. And I wanted to bring it over here to the cuties and the cutties. So we gonna get started in a little bit. Y'all let me know how y'all night been. I'm gonna probably give it one more minute and then we gonna get started. Like y'all, I think I was so tired last night. Went home and sat up there, made a steak. What was that? Some rice and eggs. Sure, I ain't even eat my eggs, but I ended up just eating a steak. But I had ate something earlier, but Troy had everything. Sure, I mean, I thought I was gonna have me a little cocktail afterwards. I must have went and laid down, and it was a wrap. Like I couldn't do nothing, nothing at all. I went back up towards the kitchen in the living room, and he was up in there knocked out sleep. I said, Lord, yeah, it's a wrap tonight. This they put us down, Chad. Well, it's all good. I just got done making some pork chops and French fries, so I had to get my little eat on before I came on too. So I'm good all the way until later on tonight. If I want a little snack, I'll be straight. I wouldn't have to, be actually have to make no full course meals. Okay, y'all. So let me get ready and share my screen. See, I want this one this time. Let me share my screen. And y'all, these stories are really interesting. Like, if y'all don't know what love spells are, you will definitely find out today. For real. So let's do that one first. Because this is the first story that I actually came across. And it took me out. All right, let's get started. So that way, if y'all ever come across, y'all feel like y'all not being y'all self and y'all actually is dealing with somebody and y'all not feeling like y'all self, this could be an option. You know, most of the time, most of these stories end with the way that they got up out of that love spell was through prayer. So let's get to the first story.
How this girl ended up losing her life all because she wanted this man to fall in love with her. So first thing first, they worked at the same facility together or whatever. And the girl had just started. I think the man he was there for like probably 2 or 3 years or whatever. So when she came, they placed her in the department with him or whatever. So I guess he was her like trainer. That they was like machine operators or whatever. So he was her trainer. He was showing her how to do the ropes and stuff like that to work in the machines. So, as time go on, you know what I'm saying, they chilling. Y'all know how it is when you in a set with a man and stuff like that, and then you end up talking to the man and yada, 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 and then go from there. But from the get-go, I don't think the man was looking for no relationship, and I don't think the girl was looking for no relationship either. But somehow she ended up catching feelings for him, and he was only trying to. So after months and months of them talking or whatever, she came to him and she was just like, I want to pursue a relationship. Like, where we stand at this point, because we've been talking for a long time. We done messed around, we did this, we did that. So, like, what's up? So I don't think he was feeling the relationship. I think he was like in and out with his baby mama or whatever situation he had going on the side. But I know he wasn't really into her. He was just trying to mess around with the girl. And then y'all, he used to try to like manipulate this girl. He used to like lead her on, love bomb her. You know, it was always one-sided with him. So she was just like, enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of playing games with you. So she laid her foot down. Basically, she was just like, you know, it is what it is. If we're going to be together, we're going to be together. We're not to just leave alone. But somehow, I don't know, this girl could not get over him. And then what's so crazy is this man knew that this girl felt some type of way. And he just wouldn't leave her alone for shit. Like, if you don't like the girl, you don't want to fuck the girl, why you won't just leave her alone? That's what I didn't understand. So then, y'all, they stopped talking for like a minute. Probably like, I ain't gonna say a minute. They probably stopped talking for like a week or two. And they working in the same set, but they wasn't talking. Like, at this point, she know what she doing and stuff like that. So she don't have to talk to him. So, you know, somehow they end up talking. I think he ended up texting her or whatever. I don't know. But somehow they end up talking, start back talking or whatever. And, you know, it was like on the same shit. Like, it's like they never thought the conversation picked up as if they never got into it. They never had the conversation about her trying to pursue a relationship. None of that. They just picked up where it left off, and she never did bring it back up or nothing like that for a long time. So then months and months go by, they back messing around, they back, you know, flirting and all this other stuff. And then she brings up that she want a relationship again. And he's just like, at this point, like, you know, I'm tired of you sitting up here every few weeks or whatever, you bringing up a relationship and all this stuff like that. But he never did come direct and say, I don't want a relationship. He never did say, you know, I don't look at you like that. He never did say none of that. He led that girl on the whole time thinking that, okay, it's a possible chance that we can be together. But he never did tell her, like, he was indirect. Y'all know how narcissist is. So y'all, as time going on or whatever, you know, she was just like, okay, you know, they had started like, I don't know, it's like they would talk and stuff like that, and they would get into it about the smallest shit. And I just feel like, sis, if y'all get into it about the smallest shit, that should tell you this man is not for you. Like, God is not gonna force nothing at all. But obviously she wanted to force it. So they stopped talking for like a month. But she couldn't get over this man for nothing. She kept thinking about him, you know, and it's kind of hard when you working with this person, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of understand that point. But she working with the man side by side every day. She have to look at this man that she done fell in love with, and this man don't look at her the same. After he done strung her along, he done love bombed her, he done told her this, told her that, and now y'all at this point. So y'all, one day, I don't know, something came across her news feed where it was like, I don't know, y'all know when y'all in a broken-hearted relationship and all this other shit that's like relatable to your situation start showing up on your news feed, whether it's Facebook, TikTok, whatever it is, it starts showing up on your news feed. She came across this little love spell, you know, how to get your man and all that. And maybe she was Googling that shit. She probably was Googling that shit. I wouldn't be surprised if she wasn't. So y'all, this girl started doing her research on love spells. She was like, trying to see, like, you know, what could happen, you know, how crazy will people go behind a love spell. She just started doing her research about love spells or whatever. She got on TikTok. I think she watched a couple videos. I know she watched a couple videos because a couple of them she shared. So she started watching videos about, you know, the love spell and all this stuff like that. And y'all, every video that I saw that girl had watched or she shared or whatever, y'all, they was basically saying like, don't do that. People have unalived their partner and this and that. You know, it's not that serious. All this stuff like that. But the girl was curious. She was curious as hell. That's why y'all got to be careful what y'all do and who y'all trying to attach to y'all. Because, baby, this shit is not no damn joke. But anyways, so she ended up doing it, y'all. She ended up doing it one night, and I think she was like, she didn't have no results. The second or third night or whatever, like a few nights, she didn't have no results or whatever. So she was just like, you know, she didn't believe in it. But then this man texted her out the blue. He texted her out the blue, and he was just like, I miss you. And he usually didn't text that, so she was like, damn, okay, you know, he you know, she didn't really think of the love spell either, y'all. She thought that it was just like a coincidence or some shit, like he just, you know, he just texted her because, like I said, y'all, they was on and off all the time. So she just looked at it like it was a normal routine with him. So y'all, you know, they talking, everything going smooth and stuff like that, you know, for like a week or two. And then he just got to accuse her. Like I said, they work at the same facility or whatever. So he got to accusing her, like every time she would talk to another guy or whatever, or somebody would say hey to her, he was like, damn, you in everybody's face. Like he would just like make little smart ass comments, but he wasn't really just throwing himself out there to show that he's like he's jealous or something. I don't know. There's probably another terminology I could have used, but yeah, y'all know what the fuck. say. But anyways, she was like explaining to him, she was like, you know, she kind of like, why you checking me? You ain't even my dude. Then when I tried to ask you about a relationship and stuff like that, you didn't even want a relationship and all this stuff like that. Mind y'all, I don't think this girl realized that love spell that she put on that man, it actually freaking worked. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna have to make part 2 because I'm on my break.
A love spell or a love magic is a magic that basically exists in many cultures around the world. It is used to basically start, preserve, or even break up a relationship, and many persons use it for sexual or romantic purposes. Yes, so today we're going to get into the story time of love spells and how they backfired. I am Jamaican, by the way, guys. I am Jody, and in Jamaica, we call love spells or love magic obia. So that's a little bit about my culture. Anyway, guys, we're gonna get into today's story time, guys. Before we get into the story time, though, please remember to like the video. It's a free way of supporting my channel. It helps my channel to grow. Subscribe if you enjoy content like these, and do ensure that you share your stories down in the comment section. Have you ever experienced any form of love spell or love magic in your entire life before? Please do sound off in the comment section. Without further ado, let's get into today's video.
Imagine casting a love spell on a narcissist and he unalives you. Part 2. Now, first thing first, before I even start, I just want to say a lot of y'all in the comments talking about, oh, she got what she deserved and all this stuff like that. I agree, she shouldn't have did it, but I don't agree that she got what she deserved, because no person deserves to be unalived by another person. I feel like they both was in the wrong. She shouldn't have did what she did to him, and he shouldn't have killed her. This girl got 2 kids. I gotta understand, her youngest kid is 3, and her oldest is 5. And for the ones that saying that maybe he put the love spell on her first, I do agree. I completely agree. Because for some reason, she mentioned that she couldn't get over this man for nothing. No matter what she did, like she stopped talking to him, she was talking to other people, she couldn't get over this man for nothing. So 9 times out of 10, that sound like she was under the love spell too. She just kept saying that she kept thinking about him. She was having dreams about him. Like it was all the signs of, her being under a love spell. Okay, let's finish the story. So, okay, like I said, they was at work or whatever. She was talking to this dude. I think this dude spoke to her. He was asking her something about the job. I don't know what they was talking about, but he came to her and he was like, damn, you in everybody's face. And, she kind of brushed it off. She laughed and all this stuff like that. She was like, I thought you said you didn't want to pursue no relationship and stuff like that. Why you questioning me about who I'm talking to and all this stuff like that? Mind y'all, the way the girl was acting, you can kind of tell that she had forgot. I ain't gonna say she forgot about the love spell, but she probably felt like the love spell didn't work because, like I said, they was on and off, So 9 times out of 10, she probably looked at it like, he just probably checking in like he always do. So they go to their department or whatever, and he came up to her. He was asking her, like, what you and old dude was talking about, what y'all had going on. She was like, nothing, we weren't really talking about nothing and stuff like that. She didn't really go further detail about what they talking about. She just said nothing to him, and he walked away. So she said when she looked up, he was giving her like an evil look. He was giving her like a real evil look, and it kind of scared her. So she went down there and she asked him, like, why you looking at me? She was in a playful mode. She didn't she didn't think nothing of it, y'all. She didn't think nothing of it. She didn't think that I don't think she thought that the love spell worked, like I said. So he was just like, when she went down there and asked him why he was looking at her like that or whatever, he was like, why was you in dude's face? That's what I'm trying to understand. You ain't really asked me. You said it was nothing, but I'm trying to understand why you was in his face. And she saying the same stuff, like, why you questioning me and all this stuff like that. And he was just like, don't worry about it, whatever. So they had stopped talking. They left work. He texted her and he was like, you better not be talking to that dude that you was talking to at work. And she was like, that's crazy. And y'all, what's crazy? The girl, I don't know what's wrong with her, but she asked him again about a freaking relationship. And he now, one thing about it, the love spell, I don't know how the love spell works, but he still didn't want to pursue a relationship with her. But it's like he was like obsessed with her. He was trying to control her. He didn't want her talking to nobody else type stuff. So she goes home. Both of them go home or whatever. It's the end of the day. They go home. And she said bye to him, and he didn't say nothing to her. He didn't say nothing to her. He looking at her, crazy and shit. Like, he basically was in zombie mode. I don't know how that shit go, y'all, but that shit is demonic as hell. It's like, I don't know, he changed his whole face structure and stuff like that when he saw her. Like, he would be having a conversation, talking to somebody else, but it's like as soon as he laid eyes on her, it's like he would get in demonic mode. Like, he would just be so evil looking towards her. And she was like, she just didn't understand. So when she got home, she texted him and she was asking him like what all that was about, with you questioning me and you looking at me like that and all this stuff like that. And he was just telling her like, don't worry about it, you will see real soon, y'all. And I don't want to get emotional telling the story because the shit finna get deep as So y'all, at this point, they, like I said, they at home. They had went home or whatever, and I think they was out for the next 3 days. They was out for either the next 3 days or the next 4 days or whatever. I don't know, but he texted her and he asked her if he could see her that night, and she was like, "Yeah, come over," and all that stuff like that. And she happy, she not thinking nothing of it, y'all.
So I'm going to therapy. When I found out about BetterHelp, I was so stoked because I was finally going to be able to find a
You could tell this her first time doing some shit like this because she wasn't really playing her cards right. She wasn't cautious about nothing. So he came to her house, he's sitting on the couch, they talking, she offered him a drink and both of them smoke or whatever. She offered him to smoke and he was like, "No, I don't want none of this shit." It's like he was just evil. He wanted to be in her presence, but it's like he had hate towards her or something. I don't know. It's crazy. But y'all, she said she was sitting on the couch when she offered him to drink and when she offered him to smoke with her. And y'all, he just got up and choked her. He choked her and he was just like looking dead in her eyes. The same evil look he gave her at work, the same evil look he gave her when he walked through the door. He just was looking at her eyes, evil as. And when he was choking her, he was just like, "You better not give my shit away. You better not give my shit away to nobody." And she was just like, "What are you talking about? Like, you hurting me and stuff like that. Like, get off of me, bro. You hurt me." And he just started laughing. And he went back to his normal self. Y'all. And he just was looking confused. She said he was looking confused. Like, he wasn't even aware of what he just did to her. So she had made up some excuse about her having to do something or whatever to the point where he had to leave or something like that. I don't know. I think she said she had to go pick up her child or something. I don't know. But he ended up leaving or whatever. And he texted her and he apologized to her about what he did. He was like, "I'm sorry, I got too aggressive with you and all this stuff like that. So I want to let you know that I apologize." She was like, "Oh, it's okay," and stuff like that. She thought that she was sweet. She thought like, "Oh, okay, he protective of me, or he just crazy about me." I don't know. But y'all, okay, so the way her house is set up, y'all, she keep her blinds open. She said she keep her blinds open all the time. She sit on the couch, she smoke, she drink, and she just sit on the couch and she vibe and stuff like that. She said for some reason she looking out the window and he passes by. And then she didn't really say nothing. She didn't think nothing of it because she's like, in her head, she's like, that could have been anybody. That could have been anybody. So I'm not just gonna say that was him. That's in the back of her head. She thinking that. She didn't say that out loud, but she thinking that in the back of her head, like that could have been anybody. So then he comes back around, but this time he's blowing his horn. He blowing his horn hard as. And she just like, "What? Like, what's going on?" and shit like that. So she calls him. She like, "Did you just pass by my house?" and all this stuff like that. And he just get the clicking on her like, "Yeah, bitch, it better not be nobody in there," and all that stuff like that. "I'm gonna come upstairs and beat that door down and beat you down and this and that." He just was threatening her left and right. It's like he would get aggressive with her and then he'll come back too and he'll just be nice. Y'all, this shit is crazy. Like, this shit's scary. I'm trying not to cry and all this stuff like that because, baby, it gets deep. This man was in this girl bushes waiting on her. Like, he was in her bushes, under her steps, under her car, behind a trash can. Y'all, it got so crazy. Like, he didn't even recognize himself, I don't think, because it's like it was like a switch. 1 minute he was like real aggressive with her, then the next minute he like, "Damn, I apologize for what I did. I don't know what came over me," and all this stuff like that. That damn love spell. But anyways, I know y'all tired of these parts, but bitch, I'm at work and I ain't losing my job for now one of you hoes. Anyways, I'm gonna go back in here. I'm gonna make part 3 a little later, probably when I get back on my break. So at 5 o'clock, I'm gonna make part 3. Alrighty, this is part 3 of casting a love spell on a narcissist and he unalives you. Okay, first thing first, if you haven't watched part 1, if you haven't watched part 2, I advise you to go do so you won't be confused on this story. Okay, so I believe we left off at the part where he pulled up to her house and he was blowing his horn and stuff like that, and then he called her, texted her and stuff like that, threatening her, talking about if he catch somebody in her house, he was gonna pew-poo her and he was gonna pew-poo whoever he called in the house. So y'all, at this point, this girl is scared. Why she didn't call the police right then, I don't know. But she was scared because she came to work the next day and she told me, she was like, "If something ever happened to me, just know that man is the one that did it to me." And as she was telling me everything that was going on, y'all, I told her she should go and talk to the police. I did. I told her she should go talk to the police. But she told me she didn't know if he was just talking or if he was just trying to scare her or what. But I left it at that because at the end of the day, she's a grown woman. You know what I'm saying? People gonna do what they want to do at the end of the day. Like, I advised her to go to the police. She didn't want to go to the police. It was what it was. So, y'all, it was the same routine with him. He would do something crazy or say something crazy to her, and then he'll come back and apologize. But at this point, she wasn't going for it. At this point, she's like fed up because she see that it's a constant cycle with him. So, y'all, we get to work, and they walking beside each other. I don't know if they had a conversation. She didn't tell me that they had no conversation or nothing like that, but she was walking beside him, y'all. The girl looked scared. He looked mad as hell. It was just, I don't know. They face expressions was like they had just got into it or something, but she didn't tell me that part, so I can't tell you on that part. So, y'all, we ended up exchanging numbers that day. The day that she told me she was scared and she felt like he was going to hurt her, we ended up exchanging numbers. Okay, so I don't know exactly what day this was, but it had to be the day that we was out because it was like 3 a.m. She woke up because she heard some noise at her door. She didn't think nothing of it, so she didn't go to the door. She didn't ask who is it. She didn't like do nothing, but she knows she heard some noise at her door or whatever. So, y'all, she tell me she was about to take her daughter to school, and this man was laying in front of her door. He didn't knock. He didn't call. He didn't text. Y'all know usually he would text and be like, can I come over, or, you know, or something like that, or he'll either threaten her or something. But at this point, he popping up, not saying shit at this point. So she getting scared because it's like she don't know when he gonna pop out, you know what I'm saying? For him to be laying in front of her front door, he don't care who see her. Like, this girl got neighbors. So she know that it was like a problem, you know, like she knew it was something serious. So she asked him, like, as she was walking out the house, she was like, what are you doing? Why are you here? When did you get here? And he was acting as if he didn't even know that he was at her house. Like, he was acting like he was confused, like he didn't know what was going on.
Paying your bills on time raises your credit score, right? Wrong. In fact, this is one of the 3
And she was just like, girl, it scared me because his face expression, you can tell his face expression was like, damn, I didn't even know I came over here. Like, what the doing here? So, like I said, we exchanged numbers. So she told me this over the phone. And y'all, I'm telling this girl, I said, call the police. I said, girl, for him to be showing up at your house, that's something serious. Like, you need to call the police. I don't know what she was waiting on, y'all. Honestly, I don't know what this girl was waiting on because it's so many signs that he was showing her that he's not there no more. He's not there. Like, I don't know, y'all. That spell took over that man. He was a whole different person. Like, she said he was never acting like this at first. Never. And I asked her about the love spell. And she was, y'all, she had forgotten that she even put that damn love spell. She was like, damn, I didn't know that shit had worked. And I'm just like, girl, you did that love spell on that man. That's probably why he acted the way he acted. And she was asking me what she need to do and all that stuff like that. We both was doing our research. I was trying to help her research some shit. But when I did my research, they basically saying, like, you have to call a psychic or something like that where somebody have to put some herbs and stuff together. I don't know. It was just a whole lot of stuff. It was a phone number on there that she was trying to get in contact with or whatever, but they wanted her to pay and she didn't want to do that. So she just let it go home. So anyways, at this point, he's at her front door, just now waking up, looking confused as hell. So y'all, she telling him, you gotta go. You gotta go. I gotta take my kids to school. Like, what are you doing at my house? She said he didn't say nothing to her. He just walked off. He walked off. He got in his car and he left. She called him and asked him what was that about. He apologized again like he always did. He sent her a long-ass message. I'm going to read that message to y'all because she sent it to me right before she passed away. The message does have her name in it. I would not be saying her name for privacy purposes. I don't know, because her family probably don't even want this information out. That's why I'm not really just telling nobody who it is, because I don't know. The family might not want that out. So, yeah. Let me go get my tablet and I'm going to read y'all the message. Okay, so he texted her and he was like, I do apologize for how I've been acting lately. I know I've been acting obsessive and possessive over you. I don't know what's coming over my body, but it's like my mindset is different. I don't know. I look at you different. I don't really know what's going on with me, but I just want you to know that I do apologize and I will seek help. That's what he texted her. She texted him and told him that she put a love spell on him. And that's probably the reason that he's acting crazy. And the moment she said that, it triggered him. It triggered him again. He came to her house. He knocked on her door. She didn't answer because she was not there. She was on her way to pick up her kids. When she came back, her and her kids was getting out the car. This man walked up to her and said, A love spell, huh? This is what the neighbors said. The neighbors said that they heard him say, a love spell, huh? And then, pew, 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 pew. That was the end of her. That was the end. And after that, pew. He took himself out. End of story. Yeah. And for the family, if the family come across this video, y'all, this is not to drag her name. This is not to drag his name. This is just to let other females know and to be aware that that love spell stuff, casting spells and stuff on people is very, very dangerous. And y'all, honestly, I didn't even realize how dangerous it is. I didn't have my knowledge on how dangerous it was. I didn't even believe in that stuff. I didn't think that stuff was true for real. But I say this to say this, y'all got to be careful. Don't force nothing, y'all. If that person is not feeling you, if that person don't want you, don't force nothing. Don't try to go put no spell on them, no rituals. Like, don't do that stuff because it's not worth it. That shit, it never ends good. Somebody always end up getting unalive behind situations like this. And I be seeing a lot of people saying like, oh, females crazy, they do weird shit like that. It's not just females. I promise you, it's not just females. It's men out here that be casting spells on females as well. You just got to be cautious, y'all. You got to be cautious of who you let around you. You got to be cautious of what you do. That being said, y'all stay blessed.
I want another love spell story because I'm on a roll today. Somebody just submitted this one to me, and this one is good. I can't believe you guys are this unhinged. Let's get into the story time. This one is T. We're gonna call this guy Andre. Andre was the one who submitted this story to me, and Andre's Jamaican. So Andre was in a relationship with this girl, and they had a very tumultuous relationship. That means for whatever reason, the relationship was always toxic. It seemed like they were always getting together and breaking up, getting together and breaking up. Until one day, Andre was like, I really cannot take this no more. I really want out of this relationship. I want nothing to do with this. He said that a couple months went by, and one day he just felt the urge to just get back together with the girl. So he did. He said that he would later find out that this girl was into some dark shit. Unbeknownst to him, this girl had other plans. She was tired of the back and forth. So after they got back together, Andre said that they always had like a super close best friend relationship where they could tell each other anything. So one day, as a joke, she winds up saying something along the lines of, for a second there, I was scared. I didn't think my stuff was working. I didn't think it worked. I didn't think I was going to get you back. So then Andre asked her, like, what do you mean by that? And she said, as a joke, what if I did Obia on you and that's why you're here?
Right now, get a $25 gift card with the purchase of a Pennzoil full synthetic oil change.
You here? As a joke, though.
Okay, y'all. So for the ones that just came in, for the first story, she was speaking on her a friend of hers who also was her coworker. So yeah, she did know it was a true story, and she did know the victim personally.
They both laughed about it and moved on. He also mentioned that upon them getting back together, she was really, really pushy in terms of sex. He said that he was never the type of dude to run a red light, okay? But one day, during that time of the month for his girl, she really wanted to do it. And she convinced him, and they did it. Keep in mind that this girl had already met Andre's parents, and Andre mentioned that his mother never liked his girlfriend. But Jamaican parents are hard to please. One day, the mom came up to him and said, son, I had a dream. Like, I really don't like that girl enough. I had a dream that your grandmother came to me and told me that she was working Obia on you. Do what you want with that information, but I don't think you should stay with her. Andre is a spiritual dude. Andre's a spiritual dude, but he's like, Obia? I don't know. So he decides to go home, and he sat his girlfriend down and started by saying, I know what you've been doing to me, just to see if she would say anything. He said that my mother came up to me and said that she had a dream, and went on to tell her what the mother's dream was. And he said, well, does that sound familiar? And homegirl would say, okay, so now here's the tea. She said during one of their back and forth, she said that, well, she read somewhere that blood is a very powerful ingredient to binding. And mirrors are also very powerful magic tools. So she thought, why don't I just combine both? She said that one day she missed him so much that she wrote his name in blood in the mirror, and she stood in front of it and summoned him. She was also saying affirmation like, you're obsessed with me, you want me, you love me, you can't leave me alone. She said she didn't think it would work because she had only did it once and it took him a while to get to her, to get back together with her. And she also brought up that time that they did it while she was on her. He said he was utterly disgusted that she would even do something like that. He said he left. He said he did a cleanse on one of the beaches. He wore all white and then walked into the water, dunked his head to try to cleanse himself and get rid of her energy or her spirit around. Well, he successfully stayed away from her. But she, on the other hand, cannot leave that man alone. He says that this girl is literally obsessed with him, like showing up to his house, obsessed with him, get cussed out by his family and still comes back because she wants the man that bad. She told him that if he doesn't get back together with her, that she will unalive herself. And she attempted. Her family found her, took her to the hospital. And when she came back home from the hospital, guess who was the first person she went to go see? Andre. And Andre says that it's gotten to the point where she done fought his mama. It's gotten to the point where she done fought his mama, his sister, his cousin. She done got jumped. And that girl don't care. She want that man. He says that she doesn't present as a physical threat to him, but he's definitely afraid for the ladies around him because she has also showed up to his dates, sat on top of his car, and refused to get off the car because he was with another woman. And now he's thinking about moving because he cannot get rid of her. And the craziest thing is he didn't do nothing. She was trying to get him to be obsessed with her, but some way, somehow, I never heard this before, but a Uno reverse happened and she winded up being the obsessed one.
Do love spells really work? Yes. Do I recommend for you to do a love spell? No. I know some of y'all have probably seen those spells on social media that look super easy and you just really want to try it when you know for a fact that man is not for you. And this person has already either verbally or physically expressed to you that they're not interested and you're still choosing to go against their free will. Love spells are typically casted without the other person's knowledge or consent, and you are literally gaining their love with spiritual manipulation. My mom owns a botanica and she has done this for as long as I can remember, so we know a lot of people who do this type of work. I'm going to tell you 2 stories of love spells that have gone wrong. The first story is about a girl that we know that was dating this guy on and off forever, and he kept running back to his ex. Basically, she got scared that he was going to leave her for real, so she decided to do a love spell on him. And things stayed the same. He kept running back to his ex-girlfriend and messing around with her whenever he had time. The only difference was that he became obsessive and possessive with her, to the point that he began stalking and harassing her for like 5 years. Mind you, this was even after they broke up. He would drive by her work and make sure she was there. He was weird, and he ended up going to jail because he physically assaulted her. It's a whole long story. This is just a little bit of it. Story number 2. This girl that I'm talking about was friends with benefits with this guy. And I actually live in a small town, so I also knew this guy. I went to high school with him. Let me describe this guy to you. He was super popular, super talkative. He was the life of the party. All the girls wanted him, right? And this girl, who was his friend with benefit, ended up doing a love spell on him. And yes, they officially started dating. He made her his girlfriend. He eventually proposed to her and they got married. And I'm not even lying when I tell you this. I know these people. He is a complete zombie. And she actually posted their wedding pictures. And while she was over there looking all happy and in love, his eyes looked completely dead. He was literally standing next to her in the picture, looking into blank space. And other people who know this couple say the same thing. They say that his spark is just gone. Moral of the story, do love spells work? Yes. But they will backfire because the feelings involved are not genuine or freely given.
Can I, make him love me? Are you kidding?
Anyway, I wanted to share a quick little story time because I was watching this girl's video yesterday and she was talking about doing like a love spell on this guy to try to get him to like her, and I kind of did something similar. And I hate to say it, it's like so embarrassing, but I did this like a couple months ago, and let me get into it. Anyway, like I said, this was a couple months ago. So I was talking to this guy, right? And he was a total package, you know. Okay, y'all. So this is her actual story of her life. She's not talking about anybody that she knows. She's talking about her own life. At least my total package, my definition. He was, Black, successful, no kids. He was a little older, which is like kind of red flags. It's like, why are you almost 40 and no kids? But he had everything else. Package, like total package. Cute, handsome, educated, smart, all the above, driven, all the above. And so, we start dating. We met on Hinge, by the way. We start dating. Everything's going good. And then one day I was at his house. And I went to the bathroom, right? And I kind of like peeked in the shower. I never like looked in his like bathroom or anything before. I usually just like use it, get out, or like, fix myself, get out. But one day I looked in his bathroom and in the shower, I saw like a whole bunch of products. I saw the Tree Hut scrub, like body scrub thing. I saw two different loofahs. I saw like conditioner, but it was like the Miele one. So I'm like, make it make sense. You feel me? And then also, I like looked in his cabinet. I was like trying to be so quiet because like low key, his like bathroom door is by the living room. He's sitting in the living room, so I was trying to be so quiet. I was like having the water running, and I was like looking through all this shit. Anyway, I was like,
you don't want the whole world to know how sick you are.
This girl can cause a lot of problems for us.
You've gone too far. What did you do?
looking through all his stuff in his cabinet, and I see.
This just goes to show that people be so desperate, they be fan out. They will do the utmost to get what they want.
In the care sauce, like gold oil, and I'm like, someone cooked here. Like, why does he have all these things? But I forgot to say an important detail about this. Okay, so also this person was like VP or like almost VP of this like really popular cosmetic brand. It's like well known, everybody knows it. He was like VP. Well, he was like director at the time. I'm sure he got promoted by now to VP because he said he was up for promotion. So, kudos to him. Anyway, long story short, we stopped talking. I kind of like crashed out on him. I was like calling him like multiple times. He was like got so mad because I looked through his stuff. Called him multiple times, kind of used the text app number, and I'm getting blocked on LinkedIn. A whole 9 yards, whatever. Anyway, into the juicy part about the spell. So I was like so sad. I was like, I lost my future husband. I was like crying, like so dramatic. And I looked up on TikTok how to do love spells, right? And I was talking about this one with like you like write the person's name or something in like red ink, and then you put their name in like a jar with like water and honey or something like that, and like some like little herbs. So I was like, perfect. I'm gonna get this man back. We're gonna get married, have babies, be happy, yada yada yada. I'm like 24. Like, why am I trying to have a baby? Why am I trying to get married, have a baby? Like, let's make it make sense, Haley. Anyway, and it was like, I think like get a candle or something too. So I'm like, okay, perfect. I need to like go to this like store. I went to this like little like witchery store in South Central LA, and it's like the store that has like all these like oils and like candles and stuff. So I got my little candle. I think it was like a red candle. And I got my little jar. Honey wrote his name. I was like chanting, like manifesting or whatever, like him to come back. And yeah, and it was like saying like, oh, like leave it in there, leave the like paper with his name in there for like 3 moons or something. It was like something ridiculous. And I did all of it because I was like that, like freaking crazy and like desperate to get this man back that I thought was going to be my future husband. Anyway, long story short, it did not work. And then I was looking at this other TikTok the other day. It was like saying if you do these spells, like bad things can happen to you. And I'm thinking maybe that's right. Because bad things have been happening to me for like over the last couple months, ever since I did this thing. So that's why I'm like, I really hope that's not what caused the bad things, because like really, really bad things happened in my life. Like family members have died. Like my mom was really, really sick. And my life has been terrible for the last couple months after that. So I'm like really praying I didn't do that. I didn't cause this bad karma, and I like will not partake in like any type of like witchery stuff anymore. So that's my little story. Don't do love spells or they'll come back to you, I guess. Have a nice day. Gotta go to work.
Thank you so much.
So let me get up in these comments. Don't worry, be happy. Say, I just don't understand, because if a person isn't interested in me, I'm out of there. Absolutely. Like, who? I don't know. I want love to be genuine for me. Like, I want you to genuinely love me back. I don't want to have to feel like I need anything forced at all. Even without love spells or whatever the case, like I still don't want it to feel like you have to be forced or you feel forced to genuinely love me or genuinely care for me in any type of way. So, that's weird, but it's scary how desperate a lot of people can be out here that's willing to take those lengths, for love or for whatever the case it may be, for the specific person that they want to be with. But I did want to bring some enlightenment to this, and for us to be able to educate each other about it, because I know a lot of people probably don't even know about this type of stuff. And like they said in a couple of the stories, is that majority of the time you wouldn't even know if somebody actually did it to you, actually put one on you. So we have to be aware of this as well, like seriously. And don't worry, be happy, say yes, and desperate times cost for desperate measure, indeed. Indeed. So we got one more story, y'all. Let me get to it.
The love spare on someone. You'll watch this video.
Let me tell you, I got a story for you because I did something like this. It wasn't in blood, but it was close enough. All right, so boom. I started talking to this boy my sophomore year of class. He was one of the few on my roster. I ain't gonna lie. I was talking to like 3 people at the same. But I wasn't being a little thought box. I was just texting other people. I mean, these niggas be doing it. Why can't I do it? You know what I'm saying? But I was talking to a few people. They was friends. Okay, anyway. So then COVID hit or whatever, and then all of the other ones just started trickling away, and then me and this one particular dude just had my main focus on. We started FaceTiming more, talking more, whatever. So started to pursue each other more. Like me and him would talk off and on. And I never understood why, because it was always him. Like he'd contact me, we'll text, we'll talk, and then out of nowhere, he'll just go. So in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, he most definitely got a girlfriend or something, because where are you? Like, where are you going? You can't just disappear off the face of this earth. Like, what do you do? So finally, I get my car and stuff, and then now he's talking to me more. And it's like, all right, now I get to see Michaela, because I ain't gonna lie, I was trapped in the house like Rapunzel. I'm gonna give it to him. I was, so he couldn't really see me. As soon as I got my car, it was a different story. So this is when we start talking more, seeing each other. And then, lo and behold, I find out, of course, he has a whole girlfriend. Now, in my head, I'm thinking, I'm his girlfriend. So it's like, okay, you're cheating on me. What's going on? Mind you, me and him are talking off and on for like 1.5 years now. Then I get my car. So now it's making it 2 years. We off and on, but now we can finally be steady because I got my car and I can come see you, right? No. So this is when TikTok first started popping. You know what I'm saying? First started popping, it was just getting in and getting. So I was on TikTok 24/7. So I'm scrolling on TikTok. Of course, like TikTok, everything. Your phone just automatically knows when you're going through something because it'll put it right there on your feed. And it's like, who around here listening? So of course, I come across this love spell TikTok. So now I'm doing my investigation and I'm looking through. I do this is around the time me and him are not talking, or like, no, we were talking, but I was barely getting any text messages from him. Like he'll text me and then won't text me again for another 12 hours. Then it get longer and longer and longer until it's like I'm texting myself at this. The timestamps was time stamping because it was in between every single message. So like I said, I'm on TikTok and like I'm scrolling and now I see this love spell TikTok. So now I'm doing my investigation. I'm looking into it. I'm like, and I'm checking the comments. Everybody, yes, it works. Dude, like, oh my gosh, do it now, blah, 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 blah. So I do it. Just to protect y'all, I'm not going to tell y'all what it was because I don't want nobody ever going through what the hell I went through. That shit was horrible. And like, it take over your mental space for real. So I did with them. A day of me doing it, I started getting messages from him. And instead of it being time stamps in between them, he was texting more and more, getting on FaceTime now. So I'm like, whoa, like this is crazy. What is going on? So I'm thinking, okay, he wants me. He wants to be with me. Let's get it, let's go. Now, around this time, I told myself, oh, I'm dating to marry, this, that. But the whole time, I was really dating for validation. Because, like, at this point, if somebody's not pursuing you anymore, what makes you think that you could do a love spell on them and they just automatically want you? Come on now. And I'm a firm believer in what you send out is what you receive in this world. So what goes around comes around. Okay, I'm a firm believer in that. So for me to do something like this is crazy. So now he's texting more, he's calling more. I'm going to see him a little bit more often, all this other stuff, right? So then a situation outbreaks, and me and a girl that he's talking to ends up getting into a fight. Getting into 2 fights, okay? So then now I'm talking to my dad, and he's like, Michaela, like, what is going on with you? Like, this is not you. Like, you've never been the type to fight over a boy. Like, I need to get some type of understanding. Where did the light switch? Where, like, what is it? So I'm sitting there and I'm confused myself because I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know why I'm in this situation to begin with. Because if I'm being honest, he's not doing nothing for me besides getting me attention every now and then. Was it really worth it? Like, be for real. So now I'm in my feelings because like I just got into a fight over this boy and I gotta go to school the next day. Everybody's gonna be like, oh, Michaela just got into a fight over a dude, blah, blah, blah. And I never want to go out like that. Like I was going out bad for this boy almost every single other week. Like it was so crazy. It was just so embarrassing for me to even go to school in general. So then, of course, I stopped talking to him for a while because it's like, dude, like you really embarrassed. But I cut him off. But it was so hard for me to let him go in my head. Y'all, when I told you that man was in my head, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, snack time, middle of the night, in my dreams, all over the place. Every morning I woke up, I had to check his social medias, just see what he was doing. I just want to check and make sure he's okay. Absolutely not. Girl, what? So then it got to the point where he started reaching out, started talking to me. And I'm like, you still with your girlfriend? No, with her, blah, 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 blah. I knew he was lying. I knew he was lying, but love just had me so burned. I'm like, nah, he ain't gonna do me like that. Like, he already had me going that bad. He ain't gonna have me going that bad again. So as time progresses, he's going distant again. I'm not hearing from him, all this other. So then now I'm starting getting my feelings. And like at this point, I'm literally begging, and I'm like, God, like I don't care if he just sent me a simple dry ass text message. As long as I know I was on his mind for at least 3 seconds out of the day, I am fully satisfied. I'm not over exaggerating. Like I'm being dead ass. If I'm lying, I'm dying right now. That's how deep I was into this. At the moment, it didn't sound delusional to me. At the moment, it was like something like coming from the heart. And I could not understand what was going on with me. So eventually, I move out and I go move into my own apartment. And of course, he's over there every now and then. But in that process of, you know, him not talking to me, I was talking to someone else. And I'm not gonna lie, I was really, really feeling him, like for real. But I was just so tied to this boy, even though I knew he was no good for me. He could not do anything for me. Like he wasn't in a good mental space. I'm already not in a good mental space. I know for sure he don't want only me. He want his cake, and he want to eat it too. So I end up just cutting the other boy off. Because I'm like, I want to be with him. This one I want. Not knowing that this spell had my head solely on him. Like, I wanted to leave him alone so much, but my heart just would not let me. And it just seemed like I did the spell on myself. One day I was sitting back and I'm like, man, like, this kind of like backfired on me because I can't get him out of my head. I knew it backfired on me when I started begging on my knees for him to stay with me. Y'all, if I'm lying, I'm dying. I literally begged this boy on my knees, my bare knees, literally, to stay with me. Like saying this shit out loud is so embarrassing, but this is my truth. I don't give a fuck. I'm trying to let y'all know, don't do that shit. That shit nothing to play with, for real. It even came to a point where like I had his childhood picture in my car, like on my little dashboard, and he got mad at me because of the situation that happened. I had dropped my friend off somewhere and he was sitting in his car watching, and he seen me pulling back into my apartment complex, and he thought I was lying about where I was going and all this other stuff. So I lied to him and told him like, nah, I was just going to do this or going to do, because I knew if he knew that I was going to pick up, if I said I wanted to go pick up somebody from my friend, he was going to automatically think like, he was like gaslighting me the entire time, y'all. Like I was just so scared to like even like tell him the truth about anything because I thought he was going to trip about every single thing. So now I'm sitting right here thinking I got to lie and I'm scared of him. He controlling me, telling me what to do, what I can do, what I can't do, what I should wear, what I shouldn't wear. And like he was really controlling me. And me, being the dumb, delusional girl I was, listening to him. Girl, you can't pay me to listen to no. Don't. Anyway, but he ended up taking his childhood picture and like ripping it up, and I literally had a mental breakdown. I cried right in front of his face. He ripped it up in front of my face and threw it on the ground. I was like, why would you do that? I'm just sitting there crying. He looking at me like, girl, like, is you okay? I'm like, Michaela, this is my picture. Why are you mad? Because I wanted it in my car. And I'm crying. Dog, like, the fuck? Like, that shit had me so crazy. And it was also to the point where like I was lying to him because I was trying to maneuver my way out of certain situations so he wouldn't yell at me or like get mad at me, to the point where one day he ended up getting in the car with me and he took his gun into the car. And I'm like, whoa, like what's going on? And he asking me questions. You know, of course I'm lying. He was asking me a question about picking somebody up. And like, I'm like, yeah, like I just had to go do this, go do that. Because if he knew I went to go pick up a boy from my friend, he was going to automatically think I went to go see a dude. If a dude was mentioned, he was going to automatically say I was doing something with somebody. So then he was like, no, you wasn't. And that's why I brought this gun in this car now, because I knew he was going to play with me. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, and he like, Michaela, go pump the gas. He like, matter of fact, give me the money. I'm finna go pay for it. You finna go pump this gas and you finna leave me the fuck alone. You finna drop me off back to where I was at. And I'm like, come back for part two. So as I'm sitting here in shock and I'm like, bro, like, oh my gosh, she finna leave me alone. Now I'm having like a panic attack in the car while he's inside of the gas station paying for the gas. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. Then it came to a point where he gets back in the car or whatever, and we're driving, and we're just quiet the whole way. And I'm trying to explain to him, I'm like, dude, like, okay, let me tell you the truth. And he, no, I want to hear the truth. You already lied to me, blah, 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 blah. And then, like, now my heart is pounding so hard because I'm like, oh my gosh, as soon as he get out of my car, he's gonna try to leave. So like, I'm sitting here and I'm panicking on the inside. I'm trying to do everything in my power so he won't leave me alone. It's sad. It really is. And like, I know people gonna say like, oh, it could just be a soul tie and all this other stuff. Baby, I was delusional like this before we even did anything. Before. That's how I know it wasn't no soul tie. It was before all of this. But we finally get back to my apartment complex and like we sit in there and like now we're arguing. And this is the second time I get on my knees and I'm begging him again. And he just don't care. Now around this time, I'm not gonna lie, I was very, very vulnerable because my dad did pass away and all this other stuff. And speaking of my dad passing away, he was, I'm gonna just put out there, he was cheating on me whenever I went to Chicago for my dad's funeral. I'm just put it out there, I really don't care because he definitely was. And he was showing me some drama somebody had made up about me and was sending me the messages while I was at my dad's freaking funeral. While I'm down there, I'm grieving right now, and you trying to show me drama from your ex-girlfriend? Be for real. Just can't believe anyways, I'm uprooting some trauma up in here for real. I'm sorry. Let me calm down. Okay. But yeah, like I said, I'm on my knees. I'm begging. So then it gets to a point where like all hell is breaking loose everywhere in my life. Everything is just so fucked up. My dad died. The boy that I want and did the spell on is backfiring on me because now I want him even more, and it seems like he wants me less. My cousin and my best friend is literally arguing in the same apartment that we all live in. My cousin friend was in there arguing too. My mama is mad at my grandma, mad at my auntie, my cousin mad at everybody, just mad. Everybody just on my back. It was so much. I was in such a bad mental space, so I just broke. And I was like, look, I can't do this no more. And I moved back with my mama. And in the process of me moving back with my mother, he was still on my mind 24/7. And after all of that, after all the dirty things that he did to me, after all of that, while I forgot to mention, I was at my apartment complex. I got my windows, my side mirrors busted out by his ex-girlfriend. I don't even know if they were together or not together. I don't know. Like, he was with me sometimes and then with her and then with both of us. So I don't know. It was all over the place. But I got my side mirrors busted. She had key in my car. It was just crazy. So I moved back in with my mother, and upon me moving back in with my mom, this is when it like really took a hold of me because I could not see him anymore. I could not be with him anymore. My mama was like, absolutely not, Michaela. We not playing it. Like, you finna get your shit together. So me trying to get my shit together, I can't stop thinking about him. My room, y'all, my room. I'm a firm believer in whatever your room looks like shows what your headspace look like, okay? Let me show you. And before I show this picture, I just want to put out this little disclaimer. Don't ever try to come for me in the comments or try to use this if you know me personally, because at the end of the day, we all go through those depression stages where we can't even clean up our room. And I'm a firm believer in I'm going to speak my truth in whatever. I just want to put it out here because I know some people who know me personally who going to try to throw this in my face. So don't ever play with me. For real. But when you're in a bad mental state, nothing around you is going to be clean. I don't care what nobody say. Plus, I was smoking and drinking back to back. Y'all, I was going through it. Okay, so this is my bedroom. like just stuff everywhere. And I've never been a slob. My room has always been clean. Like I've never played about my space ever. So like for my room to be like this really shows a whole lot. And this is my bathroom. It was just stuff everywhere. Like it's like when I look back at stuff like this, it really just breaks my heart, bro. Like it breaks my heart so bad because it really backfired on me. And just to show y'all, I don't play about my room. Like my space clean, so don't come for me. But like it was so overwhelming for me, and like even my brother and sister just knew. Like nobody ever said anything to me. My mom never said anything to me too, but I could just look on their faces and they can tell like something ain't right. Like Michaela ain't never had her room like this. Like this is ridiculous. But it's like in that moment I really kind of felt some type of way because my mama like really didn't talk to me, but we ain't gonna get into it. But it kind of made me feel some type of way and made me a little bit more sadder because it's like, Ma, you see my room, you know I don't live like this. You know this is not me. Like, why are you not talking to me? You feel me? Like I was going through so much and I just needed my mama at the moment. But yeah. So then I was just consuming myself, like I said, with alcohol and weed as much as I could, trying to make myself feel better, trying to get up and like do my hair, do makeup, put some mascara on, trying, taking pictures, even though my room was a mess, like was just trying everything, every single thing to get myself back together. And you know what's so crazy is I started calling out to God because I'm like, you know what? In the beginning, when this all happened and like he first broke my heart, I literally called out to God and I asked God for just peace so I can go to sleep because he was on my mind 24/7 and God gave me peace. So I remembered that. And then one day I was in my room, listen, because this is crazy. I was in my room and I was high as a kite, okay, y'all? And I'm sitting there and I'm just zoned out. And then I can hear whispering. So like now I'm looking around the room and I'm like, yo, what's going on? It's 3:00 in the morning. My brother and sister is asleep. They got school in the morning. What's going on? Who's talking? My mama is downstairs. So I'm hearing something and then it just stopped. So now I'm looking around the room like, okay. And then I hear a voice. It was like a small, still voice. Like literally that's how I can explain it. And it's literally in the Bible too. But it was a small, still voice and it was like, you can't hear me because you're too far away from me. And when I tell you the tears almost started rolling down and I almost started crying, within the next day, I was listening to this gospel song that was speaking on and it was so crazy how it just came up. Like I was listening to music on YouTube and then the song just came up. It was speaking on every single thing I was going through in the moment. And I just started bawling my eyes out, crying. And then I started watching the lady who played in War Room, Priscilla. I started watching her on YouTube and stuff, and everything she was speaking was speaking to my heart. Like I needed, like I was feeling tingles and chills in my body. Then I went on Amazon. I bought this book, all of that. And I say all that to say because the only way I got out of this, and let me tell y'all, I don't care what nobody say, okay? I'm gonna turn on my pastor, okay? Because we might have a part 3, because y'all gonna listen to this, all right? I know I be cussing, I be doing all that, like I be listening to secular music sometimes too. I get it, I understand, but I'm on a journey as well. And I'm trying to, make my life better, because I'm a completely different person than I was back then. The person I was just talking to y'all about, I'm not her no more. Like I'm a completely different person, and it was only because of God. And let me tell you the situation that happened. This is a whole other story, but we're just gonna let it fall into because it wraps with it all, and it just shows how good God is at the end of the day. Like I said, I bought this book or whatever, and then I cleaned up my entire bathroom, y'all. Cleaned up my entire bathroom. My room was still a mess, but I cleaned up my entire bathroom and I made it into a war room where I started putting prayers and everything on the wall. I'm gonna go show y'all. I'm gonna go into the bathroom because it's still up right now. This is my brother's bathroom now. But like I said, it's my brother's bathroom right now, but like the prayers and stuff are still, because I moved out again and then he ended up moving to my room and stuff. But during the time when it was my room, that was the only space in my area, like in my room, that was clean, the bathroom. And that's because I was literally listening to my worship music and I was cleaning at the same time. And it was so hard for me to clean if I did not have my worship music playing in my ears. If they were not playing, I had no energy. I could not do it. Something was just holding me back. So I finally cleaned it all up and I turned the bathroom into a war room where I go in there and I start praising God and seeking God and writing prayers and praying to God and just asking God to deliver me from whatever it is I need to get deliverance from. Because at that point, he just got so far out of my mind, I wasn't even worried about him no more. It was like, I'm not gonna lie, he was popping up in my head every now and then, but like my main focus was just this depression. And that's, like I said, that's the gateway to all of this stuff. That's the gateway. That's how you let the devil into your life, y'all, okay? So then once the bathroom was clean, my room was still a mess. So after the bathroom was clean that same night, I went into that bathroom and I took a shower. I went into the bathroom afterwards and like I was reading my Bible and I was just reading stuff. And then like I was recording myself also. And then out of nowhere, like I see a globe or like it looked kind of like dust flying across the camera, and like instantly I just felt like I would just have the urge to just listen to worship music again. So I started playing my worship music and like I'm into it deep, never been this deep into worship. And then out of nowhere, y'all, I feel fire, like heat go whooshing all through my body, and I just start speaking in tongues, come back for part. So then, like I said, I'm sorry y'all, I had to do something real, but like I said, I instantly felt like just heat just cover my whole body. And then out of nowhere, I started blurting out a language I never spoke before. So with that being said, just to summarize for y'all, for people who don't know, I started speaking in tongues. Now, I ain't never spoken tongues a day in my life. Like I used to go around the house and like play around. We would play church when we was little kids and like try to mouth and act like I'm speaking in tongues. But this was way different. Like when I tell you, it just blurted out and I was just crying and crying and I could not figure out what was going on in that moment. And like as I'm doing it, like I feel so heavy and it's just heat and I'm sweating so bad. And then out of nowhere, I just breathe real hard and then like everything just left from me and it was just back to my normal self. And so I'm sitting in the bathroom and I'm in shock because I'm like, what in the world just happened? I've never experienced anything like it. Like I grew up in church before. I've, been in a choir before. I've worshiped in the church before, but I've never ever experienced anything like it. So then, y'all, I started getting dreams, not just regular dreams, but dreams that started coming true. And I wrote them all in this notebook. Like when I tell you, dreams for that. Okay, y'all get the point. But the dreams started coming true. Like they weren't literally like the same thing, but like it was like symbolism almost. And like when something would happen in real life, it would take me back to the dream when I would have visions and like God was speaking to me and like it was just so crazy. Okay. Now, mind you, during this whole time, like I'm close to God now because of this spell. When I tell you God would use everything that was used to kill you, everything that was supposed to be used against you, he will use that same thing and turn it around for your good, for your destiny, okay? Listen to this, because this story get even crazier, okay? So like I said, I'm doing all of this, and then like I'm worshiping every day. I'm making sure I go into my war room every single day. So then like I start hitting like depression really, really, really bad. Like so bad to the point where I wanted to kill myself. Like I literally have a video of me like crying on my iPad whenever I was in my war room, and like I have my goddaughter / cousin with me. She was like a baby, and like I really needed her at that time. Like God just, everything was just in place so like strategically and like just perfectly in my life. Because had I not had certain people and had I not had my little cousin with me, I probably would have took myself out. Like I'm so serious. Like I would go, it would be like so on top of the world and on fire for God. And then there would be other days where like I would wake up and like I just don't want to be here. Like I wish I could just sleep my whole life away, like just be dead. Like there were days where I used to sit in the tub and just think about putting my head under the water and just stay there. There would be days where I would think about taking my car and just swerve it off the highway. Like there would be days where I would just sit there and think like, man, if I just slice my throat real quick, it'll just all be over with. Like when I tell y'all it was on me bad, it was on me bad. And I've never been like that. And like, of course, I'm not going to say that it was all solely tied to the love spell, but I believe in my heart that it was the root of it all. It was the door of it all. Because I've been like suicidal before, but not that deep, y'all. Like not that deep at all. Like looking back at those videos, you can see it all over my face, like in my eyes. Like I'm a completely different person now. Like, look at this video. Look at my face. Look at my eyes. Like, I look so horrible. Like, I was so depressed. Like, looking back at this made me want to cry so bad. So like every day I would like go into my war room, like my bathroom, and I would go in there and I would like pray, I would read my Bible, I would worship, I would do all that. And like I said, some days, like that day, I was like really, really sad. But there were days where, you know, like the Holy Spirit was speaking through me, like to me, like on my, it was just so crazy. I thought I was going crazy, but like at the same time, I was happy on the inside. So I'm like, I'm not going crazy because like this, I've been looking for happiness, like this type of happiness, like happiness within myself, like true happiness. And I only got that whenever I started building my relationship with God, like for real. Like building a relationship with God is the same thing as you would do on earth. Like the same way you build relationships and friendships with other people, you have to spend time with them, you have to get to know them, get to know their personality. So like with God, you have to read about him, you have to renew your mind every day, read that Bible day and night, even if it's just a chapter, a paragraph, do something, you know what I'm saying? Listen to your music every now and then. You don't have to let it consume you, but do it. Anyways, back to the story. I'm sorry. So upon it being time for, you know, this big thing that was going to happen, because I wasn't broken free from that spell. I wasn't broken free from that soul tie. I wasn't broken free from, you know, trauma and all that other stuff that I had going on that was building up to that point in my life. So although I feel like that love spell and the soul tie that I had with that boy was meant to knock me out, God turned it around and made it so it can, so he could allow me to be free from those things, to break me from those things. Because then me and my cousin started going to church. We both got confirmation. It was so crazy. She got her own confirmation to go to this certain church, and I had got my own confirmation to go to this certain church. So like now we both like, whoa, this is like destined. Like this is crazy. Like can't nobody convince me God not real. Like I'm so used to religion. I'm not used to this relationship that I got with this man up above. Like what is going on? So then like I'm periodically going to church and I'm enjoying myself. And then I get a word from God, Jeremiah 29:11. Like everybody kept saying it to me. It was like Jeremiah 29:11. Like I need to tell you this word. Like God is putting this word on my heart to tell you. And everybody just kept telling me Jeremiah 29:11. Mind you, it is on my Love Vision board. It's like knocked down a little bit, but yeah, that's my scripture. I love that scripture so much. So like now he was giving me little breadcrumbs and I'm just grabbing them and I'm looking for more and more and more. So like now I'm pursuing God more and more and more. Although I was still having my sad days, I was having a lot of bad days that the enemy was attacking me left and right. I was still thinking about this boy every now and then, but like at the same time, like it was like a roller coaster, up and down, up and down. So then it was this one service. My mama never went to church with us. My mama got her own relationship with God, but she never went to this specific church with us. So God was uprooting some traumas in me and showing me reasons why I could not communicate and talk to my mama. So that started getting uprooted. So much stuff started getting uprooted out of my life. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like y'all, when I tell y'all I was completely undone, like I felt like everything in my heart was just open and God was just placing it on a table and was just like breaking it all down to me, and it was just coming and coming, and my tears was just flowing. Like I get chills thinking about it every time. Oh my God, y'all, because that man really be doing his big one for real. Anyway, so then this church service comes, and like I feel it in my heart, something is going to happen. Because prior to I was going to the church or whatever, and the pastor had said something to me one day, because you know I had went to the altar one day and I was just
okay. I just want to say this for y'all, for the ones that don't know, Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11. I'm gonna read it out to y'all. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and in a future. That is Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11.
Crying and crying. Like y'all, I was an emotional mess. Like crying. Every time I felt the Spirit of God, I was just crying, just letting it all out. And I have fell to my knees on the altar, and I've never done that before. And the pastor had told me after service, he pulled me to the side and he was like, hey, when I seen you on the ground crying, I seen this big light around you. And he said, usually when I see that in the spirit realm, that means God is about to do something in your life. And he was like, don't give up. God about to do something in your life. And I was holding on to that. I'm like, okay, pastor, like I hear you. You real strong with God. You got a good relationship. I want that. So I'm hearing what you're saying, pastor, So I'm taking your word for it, Pastor. I'm taking God's word for it, Pastor. And lo and behold, when God speaks, he is definitely going to come through on his word no matter what he said, because he is not a liar. For real. I don't know about these other men that y'all met before. These men be lying, but the man up above, he don't lie. He's never been a liar. He's the truth and always will be the truth forever and ever.
Period.
So, like I said, church service comes and I invite my mom and my brother and sister, and I invite my cousin. No, not my cousin. I invite two of my friends to come. So they come or whatever, and then they have this prayer line. So there's a big group of people lining up to go down this prayer line, and they have all the pastors and ministers and all the apostles, everybody down in this line with holy oil in their hands, and they're letting all the people walk through, and they're putting their hands on them, and they're touching them, and they're praying for them as we walking down the line. So y'all, here go the story. You might have to come back for part 4, but trust me, it get good. So now we're standing in this line. As we get in the line, we're getting closer and closer. My knees are like buckling. I'm standing in the back by myself. I let everybody get in front of me. Like I let all my family and friends get in front of me, and I'm in the back, and my knees are buckling as I'm getting closer and closer. And then when we finally approach it, like everybody goes in, and I can see everybody I can see the shift in everybody's energy when they go under. It was like everybody would just needed that moment. And me, as soon as I go in, I look up at God, because I'm like, God, right now, I'm about to let everything go. And once I get through here, God, I want to be a brand new person. I literally looked up at God. I put my head down. I took a deep breath, and I went through. And the moment I started walking through, I started screaming. Something started manifesting. Okay, so like I said, now I'm walking down the prayer line. I look up, say what I said to God. And as I'm going down, people start touching on me, and I'm fumbling. I'm falling. I'm like going side to side, and people touching me. Like all I remember is this one pastor had put his hand on top of my head, and I literally went down and I started screaming so loud. And then one of the pastors, I remember him, he was like, oh my gosh. And then a lady started, carrying me down the line. I guess they were trying to hurry and get me out. I don't know. So then I thought that was the end. So I'm out of the prayer line, I'm wiping my face, and I'm going to sit back down, and I'm like, whoa, that was crazy. I just need to get that scream out. That's what I thought. I just thought I need to get the scream out. Oh no. So then one of the church members had called my cousin, my friend that I had invited with me, and me to the side. And he was like, come here. I need y'all to come here. And so I'm looking okay, I've never seen this man before. He's from a different church, y'all. He's from a completely different church, okay? And he pulls us to the side. Let me go back. I'm sorry. Let me explain this further. It was a church service, but it was from different areas, from different churches inside of the area. So we was all coming together having a service. So he put us to the side, and he said, I can sense something right here. He said, there's a lot of hurt. There's a lot of emotion right here. He was like, what's going on with y'all or whatever? And we didn't even get to talk or speak. He was like, I'm gonna pray for y'all. So he starts praying for us, right? And he has his arms. He's standing right here. I'm on this side of him. My cousin and my friend are right here. He starts praying for us. I don't know if he started praying or talking to us, but as soon as that man laid his hand on me, as soon as he touched my body, I instantly went down and I started screaming. I was like, y'all, if I'm lying, I'm dying. I've never experienced anything like that. And on top of that, y'all, think about it. I didn't fake this for a moment. I really, deep down inside, I think my mama feel like I faked this whole thing, because when we got home, she had a whole lot to say about certain situations. And I'm like, girl, are you trying to low-key throw shots at me? But think about it. I had 2 of my friends come, and I had my brother and sister come who play entirely too much, who laugh at everything. They don't even take church service serious. They laugh at everything. Plus, I have my mama there, and I had my cousin there. Why would I act this out? Why would I play around like that? That's embarrassing, first of all. There's so many people there. I don't know these people. And if you know me personally, you know I'm shy, around a large group of people. I'm not going to speak or scream or bring any type of attention towards me, ever. So I'm screaming, and then the man literally leaves from my cousin and from my friend and comes to me, and he's like, come out of her, come out of her, come out of her. And now I'm in this state like, whoa, what's going on? So then now I'm back and forth out of consciousness. I can hear him, then I can't hear him, then I go back to darkness, and then like I'm hearing him, then out of nowhere, like I'm on the floor, and then like now I'm opening my eyes, and I'm on the floor, and he in front of my face, and like I'm screaming, I'm speaking in tongues. Like I remember certain parts, and like y'all, this church was packed full of people, okay? Full of people. Actually, I think they had, I don't know if they had it recorded on Facebook Live or not. I should try to go see. I'm gonna try to go see. And if it's still up there, I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna show y'all everything for real, because I want y'all to know, like this stuff is real. You gotta be careful, you gotta protect yourself, and you really have to have a relationship with God. For real, y'all. Anyways, it's like I said, I'm going back and forth out of consciousness. Like, I don't know what's going on, but at the same time, I see my cousin. She's sitting right next to me in this chair, and then I see my friend. She's over there and she's crying, like she's bawling her eyes out. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I have both of my friends there. So like, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm aware of what's going on, but at the same time, I'm not. Now, mind you, I'm on the floor, so like there's a group of people around me now. People are praying over me and all this other stuff. So my cousin said, like, mind you, I'm going in and out of consciousness. So this is from my cousin's perspective. She said once, I was on the floor, and everybody was, the man who had came to us was asking, like, who are you? Like, how did you get here? And all this other stuff. I remember them saying like this, they was like, I feel everybody that came over to me was like, this is sad. This is like hurt and suicide. This is a spirit of hurt and a spirit of suicide. Y'all, when I tell you, nobody knew besides my cousin knew that I had I wanted to kill myself. And then in that time frame, I never told her anything. That was years ago when I told her. This was like 2 or 3 years ago when I told her about this. But during that time frame, nobody knew. During that video I just posted, that I just showed y'all in here, whenever I was crying with my little cousin on my lap, nobody knew I was going through that. Nobody knew I wanted to kill myself around that time. Nobody knew. So when he said that, then my body goes into extra shock, and I'm like, what? So now, like, I'm in and out, in and out, in and out. Like, the whole time, y'all, I'm in and out. So, like, I barely remember anything. But my cousin says a woman comes over, and she has a Bible in her hand. And my cousin said, as soon as she started opening her mouth and reading the scriptures out of the Bible, I started going crazy. My body, like, I'm saying, no. And I'm shaking and I'm screaming and I'm crying. And like, it was moments where like I was angry, and then moments where I'm just sitting there like crying and crying. And my cousin was like, Michaela, like, it was scary. Like, it was crazy. And then out of nowhere, I just start coughing. And I'm coughing and I'm coughing. And then I started throwing up. It wasn't a lot of throw up, but like a piece of throw up came out. And it was like, yeah. And everybody started, or everybody around me was like, yes, Michaela, come on, keep fighting, keep going, keep fighting, Michaela. So then the people around me still praying, still going. The people in the middle of the prayer line, like while we were going through the prayer line, they had the choir singing, okay? So y'all, let me tell y'all how good this church is, okay? So while we're going through the prayer line, there's music playing, and the choir is still, praising, and the praise dancers are still dancing. The entire time while I'm on the floor, they're still singing. Y'all, it's been a good 45 minutes now, okay? I was on that floor for an hour straight on that floor, okay? Like I told y'all, it was filled with so many people in there. Once I threw up, like I felt like a bunch of wind pipe up out of me. It was crazy, and like I just threw up, okay? Then I look up, and the preacher's wife comes up to me, and she's like, Michaela, like, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. She's like, are you safe right now? Like, are you okay? Like, is it all gone? Is it all done? Like, do you still feel that urge to scream? Like, you need to let me know, because that's a sign. And I'm like, Yes, I feel better now. Even though in the inside, I still kind of feel like there was something, but it was in the works with God. That moment, I needed that to be out the way so that way I could be able to, get up out of bed. I won't be lazy. I won't be sad. I'll actually be encouraged to be in my word. And as time progresses, God will start delivering me from those things little by little. It all won't happen at the same time because I don't expect it to happen at the same time. But it all won't happen at the same time because if it do, I was going to just do nothing but run back to what I was doing before that led me up until that moment. You feel me? So God was purposely, like I said, placing little breadcrumbs. And then if he did that one thing, it would make me be like, God, what else can you do for me? And make me just chase after him more. So when I look up, everybody start clapping. The choir is still praising. The praise dancers are still dancing. And the entire church is empty. Except for like a trickle of people here, trickle of people there. When I tell y'all that church was full, and then whenever I look up, everybody was gone. I'm looking at my cousin. I'm like, how long was I on that floor? And she was like, everybody was walking past you, leaving, asking if you was okay, asking for your name, saying that they was going to pray for you. And all this other stuff. And I'm like, bro, I was so scared to go to church the next Sunday because I thought everybody was going to look at me like that girl had a demon in her and all this other stuff. But every time when people see me, they just embrace me with a hug every single time. And granted, I did fall back. I did turn my back on God and go back to my sinful ways. However, God has still been good to me regardless of what I've been doing. And with him delivering me from that, and especially with me talking about it right now, it makes me just want to go after God even more and just to put down all of this stuff that I'm doing and just focus on him more, because my whole thing is I'll get in a relationship and pursue that person more than I would pursue God. That's why lately I just been like trying to really target my focus, But yeah, I'm telling y'all, try God out for yourself. If you ever find yourself inside of a love spell and you feel like it's backfiring on you, baby, you open up that Bible, you listen to your worship music, and you call out to God until he delivers you from whatever it is.
But y'all heard it. She said what she said. So we have heard about 3 stories, 3 to 4 stories. 2 of the stories was pretty brief. The first story probably was probably about a good 10 minutes. Yes, it was very deep. Don't worry, be happy. Very deep. And I'm pretty sure it's probably a lot of people that's not familiar with love spells. I know I wasn't until I came across it on TikTok earlier sometime this year. And I started getting into it, and then I came across it again a couple of weeks ago. So when I came across these particular stories, it's like it started just popping up on my timeline a little more. So I'm like, I think I need to share this with the family. So I started, I picked a couple that was pretty deep. The first story that was pretty deep. It was scary. Unfortunately, the young lady who actually cast that spell towards that man, she was unalive, and it wasn't too pretty. And the other ones, they basically told stories that they were familiar about, which was really brief. And then this story, Save the Best for Last. Her testimony was very powerful. I'm pretty sure everybody who was tuned in learned a lot. I know I did. I really did not finish her entire story. I went towards the I think up to the second part, part 2, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave this one because she has a testimony and she's here to still talk about it and actually go into complete details, about her story. So that's why I did her last. Also, I want everybody to stay prayed up. Like, seriously, this stuff out here is serious. And just like they said before, then I think it was the first story. They said before, you don't even know, you would not even know if somebody literally tried to cast a spell on you. You wouldn't know. So we got to stay prayed up. Just like Cancer, I have highlighted on the screen, Cancer 66 say, this is why we must stay prayed up and seek out God for everything that we want. Of course, God will give us what we need, because sometimes our desires aren't the right ones. So we really have to Let me say. Oh, so I see a question. Talk sweet. I mean, Late say, okay, so that answers my question. Okay. Yes, yes. Um, but yeah, they can, and it's not just for women, y'all. Men do them as well. So we really don't. We just would never know. We never know. But what we do know from these people experiences is that it does backfire. You think you're casting a spell on somebody else, and then yet you actually casting one on yourself, and it'll reverse. I've came across TikToks where they actually were selling these spells. They selling them. They have lives and everything, on live selling these spells. I mean, and you talking about thousands of people purchasing these spells. They purchasing love spells. They purchasing reverse spells. All kind of stuff. I'm like, is this for real? Like, you all can see it for yourself. I mean, just type it in on TikTok and you will come across it all. Like, I would suggest that you don't stay in there, but just to see with your own eyes, it's out there and it's happening and it's very popular. So I really enjoyed this live. I was gonna do another segment. If y'all want to do another segment, I can. But if not, we can leave it right here. I believe this live was is blessed, and I don't want to spoil it. But if y'all want to, I mean, not necessarily spoil it, but when y'all know what we talk about over here, basically. So it would definitely be something a little bit different from what we just got done experiencing and educating ourselves about. Let me get over here to these comments. Hey, Alba Miranda. Hey, sweetie. Welcome in. Cancer say, and please know that there's no such thing as a good spell or a good witch. Yes. If it's not from God, it is from the devil, period. In that order. We have to be aware of these things, y'all. Y'all know. I'll be trying to sit up here so we all can educate each other, all be able to share our experiences and we be able to learn from other people's experiences about what's going on around us, what's going on in the world and everything. So I was gonna do a smaller give y'all a small peek of what the next live will be. But I'm just gonna wait because I have to go from YouTube and to a whole different social media website, and I don't want to keep y'all waiting. And it's still pretty early, and I want to be able to give other people a little time to go ahead and do what they need to do. So, with that being said, if y'all enjoy the content, you all are more than welcome to bless the host with a cash app. If not, thank you so much. It was a blessing for y'all to be here with me as I share this educational content with you all. And I pray that you all have a blessed day. I'm going to just post the cash app just for a moment. And then we're going to head up out of here. Y'all be blessed, my cuties and my cutties. And until next time, I'll talk to you soon. Love y'all.